The quickness in which Alabama has rebuilt its secondary post Nick Saban is nothing short of incredible. Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? Clint Lamb from A to Z Sports and Cover Crimson. When you look at Alabama's secondary and just everything they lost post Nick Saban, and you compare that to where they're currently trending under Kane Womack, the quickness in which that rebuild or that transition happened is nothing short of remarkable. And it all starts with the guys they lost to the NFL draft following the 2023 season. Whether you're talking about Terrion Arnold, whether you're talking about Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jalen Key, those were three of your five starters in the secondary. But as you know and I know, it's no longer just about the NFL draft and the risk of losing guys to the NFL draft. It's also the transfer portal. And Alabama lost a ton of guys to the portal once Nick Saban elected to retire. And even before that, for speaking candidly, but you had Caleb Downs, star safety, go to Ohio State. You had Trey Amos go to Ole Miss. You had depth guys who were expected to step up into much bigger roles, such as Des Ricks or Earl Little Jr., or Antonio Kite, or Christian Story, or Jake Pope. The number of guys that Alabama lost from its secondary following the 2023 season is unlike anything that I've ever seen. 11 of the 15 players from that secondary were not on the roster in 2024. Now, did Alabama complain? Did their coaching staff complain? No, they put their heads down and they went to work. And not only did they recruit extremely well, but they also developed well too. Like, you had 3 5-star freshman corners come in, and you got various levels of impact from all 3 of them, whether it be Zabian Brown being a full-time starter, whether it be Jalen Mbakwe coming in. You know, he's playing wide receiver now, but last year he played corner, and he was cornerback 3 or cornerback 4, depending on who you talk to, but he was a big part of that rotation. Zay Mincy started off as a corner and contributed there a little bit before moving to safety. And then by the end of the season, he was getting a start against Michigan in the bowl game and performing quite well. So those types of impact, immediate impact from freshmen certainly helped in the transition. It was also the coaching staff's ability to go out and recruit from the transfer portal, whether you're talking about Damani Jackson, Keon Sabb, Deshaun Jones, Cam Howard, King Mack. They got varying degrees of impact from all of those guys, whether you're talking about the headliners with Damani Jackson and Keon Sabb. A guy like Deshaun Jones provided very strong, very quality depth, whether it be out on the perimeter or at Husky. You had King Mack making an impact on special teams. Cam Howard is a guy who I think they're going to rely on a little bit more moving forward. They just have done a phenomenal job of not only identifying high school talent, recruiting that talent, and then developing that talent, but they're also doing the same thing from the transfer portal. And that's one of the things that I wanted to point out was just, regardless of where they're going to get the talent, they seem to be finding the right guys who come in and live up to the billing. You talk about Dijon Lee, a 5-star freshman who's going to be part of this freshman class. You talk about Ivan Taylor. These are guys who have arrived on campus, both top 100 recruits, both very highly sought after players, and they're living up to the billing early. And, you know, even the guys who maybe weren't as highly sought after, a Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., who was one of the lowest rated signings that Alabama had in its 2023 class, he's now starting to emerge as a potential Husky option, and you're seeing development there. So you got to give Kane Womack and Mo Linguist and Courtney Morgan, all of those guys, a lot of credit for the job that they have done rebuilding this Alabama secondary post Nick Saban.